Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we will discuss how to know if your revenue cycle management or RCM is performing well. Okay, so just think as a professional. Suppose you are a healthcare industry professional and you are going to decide or you are going to monitor whether your RCM process is performing well or not. In our previous session, we discussed about those points where we saw all the points which we need to take care of while selecting the RCM process. Now, in this session, we are going to monitor the RCM process. Okay, so we will identify whether the RCM is working fine or not. So, what all points we need to take care of in this situation? So, let's go all the points one by one. So first point is clean claim rate. Okay. So in this point, here it is mentioned, monitor the percentage of claims submitted without error or rejection. Why? Because a high clean claim rate indicate efficient billing processes and reduces the chance of delayed payment. Okay. So that's why claim rate should be high. If claim rate is high, then it means there is very less number or negligible delay payment delays. Okay, so this is also a good factor through which we can identify if your claim rate is higher, then it means your system is performing well. Now the second point is AR. What is AR? Accounts receivable, days in account receivable. So here it is mentioned, measure the average number of days it takes to collect payment after a claim is submitted. So just think about a process where we have requested for the claim, we have submitted the claim. Then let's say if in 5 days we have got the final or actual payment, then that 5 day means it is a AR, account receivable days, right? Days in account receivable. So a lower days in AR metric signify more efficient revenue cycle. It means if you have submitted your claim today and if you are getting the payment in 3 days, then it is good. But if you are getting 2 days, then it is very good. Okay. So lesser than account receivable day, more the signify it then it signify more efficient revenue cycle. Clear? So we have covered 2 points so far. Now third point, which is very important point, which is denial rate. Track the percentage of claims that are denied and investigate the reasons behind the denials. Okay, so to identify whether our system is performing well or not, we should track the percentage of claims because everything is dependent on claim. If your claim is not processed successfully, then there would be very delayed in case of payment. So that's why we should track the percentage of claims that are denied and also investigate the reason behind the denials. Let's say if there are some kind of denials, then we should take care of those reasons as well and we should figure out what was the reason behind those denial. Okay, a low denial rate is indicative of effective billing practices and thorough claim submission. So therefore we can say that a denial rate should be less. If denial rate is less, then it means your system is performing well. Then we have next point, collection rate. Analyze the percentage of billed charges that are collected, because billed charges is very good thing in terms of claim process. Okay, same thing here. It is mentioned like a high collection rate demonstrate effective revenue recovery. If your clean collection rate is high, then there is a effective revenue recovery. So these are the 4 points which we can consider and which we should check in order to identify whether RCM is uh, performing well or not. So first point was claim rate, which should be high. Then we have AR, which should be low, account receivable. Then we have denial rate, which should be low, and then we have collection rate, which should be higher. Okay, so these are the point. Now we will move to the next page. Here we have patient payment collection. Assess the effectiveness of collecting patient payment. Evaluate the percentage of patient balance collected and implement strategies to improve patient payment processes. Okay, so we should improve those strategies to improve the payment processes. So patient payment collection is also a point or also a metric through which we can identify whether RCM is going in a good direction or not. Okay, then we have claim reimbursement ratio, which is very important thing because everything is totally dependent on reimbursement. So here it is mentioned, compare the amount billed versus the amount reimbursed by payers. Okay, so this type of comparison we can perform in order to identify whether the RCM is working fine or not. A higher reimbursement ratio indicates successful negotiation with payers, because if there is a higher reimbursement ratio, then for sure we have a good negotiation deal with the payers. That's why we are getting the higher reimbursement. So claim reimbursement ratio should be higher. All right. Then we have credentialing and contracting. Ensure that healthcare providers are appropriately credentialed with payers. Regularly review and negotiate contract with the payer to optimize reimbursement rate. Okay. So after reviewing it regularly, we will identify whether we are going in a good direction or not. Okay. And also regularly reviewed and negotiate contract with payers to optimize the reimbursement rate. If you are doing regular reviews, then for sure it will optimize your reimbursement rates. Then we have technology utilization. Assess the efficiency of your RCM technology and software. Ensure that your system are up to date. Your system should be up to date because you are going to deal with medical things, right? So it should be as per your what we can say regulations and policies only. Okay, otherwise if your system is not up to date, then you are going to generate the wrong data. So that's why your system should be up to date, integrated, and capable of handling electronic claim submission and processing. Okay, so this is also a very good point through which we can identify whether our system is working fine or not. Okay, so we discuss another 4 point, which is patient payment collection, claim reimbursement ratio, credentialing and contracting, and technology utilization. So these are the point, 4 more point, which will help us, which we can focus or which we can use in order to identify whether this RCM system is working fine or not. Fine. So let's move to the next slide. Here we have another 4 points, which is where the first point is key performance indicator KPIs. Establish and monitor KPI tailored to your organization goal. So we should check whether our KPI is going in a good direction or not. KPI means key performance indicator. Common RCM KPIs include the first pass resolution rate, denial overturn rate, and days to bill. Okay, so KPI is a very crucial point which will help us to identify whether the RCM is performing well or not. Then comes compliance. Ensure compliance with the healthcare regulation and payer requirement. So we should ensure that compliance with healthcare regulation and payers requirement. Regularly update your staff or change in billing on change in billing and coding regulation to avoid compliance issues. So we should take care of compliance issues, right? If there are more compliance issues, then it means you are not performing well. Your system is not performing well. But if there is very less compliance issue or like if very less compliance issue, then it means your system is performing well. So that's why it is mentioned here. Regularly upgrade or update your staff on changes in billing and coding regulation to avoid compliance issues. Okay. Then we have next point, staff training and education. This is very crucial point. Why? Because everyone should invest in ongoing training for billing and coding staff to keep them updated on industry changes. Okay? Because if your team is not educated, if your team is not provided with some training material, then they are not able to perform well, right? So to perform and to provide them to comply with all the things or to generate good outcome, your training staff should be trained and educated. Same thing here it mentioned. Well trained staff is crucial for accurate and efficient RCM process. Okay. And then the last point here, it is mentioned as patient satisfaction, because at the end you are going to serve for your patient, so he or she should be satisfied with your services. So here it is mentioned, assess patient satisfaction with billing processes and communication, implement improvement to enhance the patient experience and reduce the potential payment delays. Okay, so yeah, these are the all point which we can consume, which we can consider while deciding whether our RCM system is performing well or not. Okay, so yeah, that's all for this topic. And as usual, like, we are going to discuss another question for today, which is this: list down three things which we should look while selecting the RCM system. You know that at at the end of every session we are going to ask one question that will help you to prepare for your interviews, and also it will recall all your syllabus, and we will discuss only those questions which we have already covered. So I hope that you all are aware of the you all know the answer for this question. So I recommend you to put the correct answer in the comment section. And like, who will put the comment first, I will pin those comment who which is correct. Okay, and then others can also refer those comments in order to verify the answers. So this approach will help you to identify whether you are learning the things properly or not. So just look at this question carefully, read it twice, and answer the things. The question is, list down three things which we should look while selecting RCM system. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today's session. I hope it is clear to all of you. In the next session, we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.